I believe in love, fairy tales, and happy endings. Unfortunately, that's not the reality of the world sometimes. Divorce is like a taboo topic most people don't want to talk about. People shy away from it because it's not a fun topic to discuss. Unfortunately, that's not the case. Will a man or woman remain in a union that is now inconceivable due to certain situations and that doesn't make them happy? Divorce is a topic we must talk about in today's age and time, with everything happening in the world and around us and with our families and friends every day. It's our reality. So we must touch on it and talk on it. So please join me as I touch on the perception of divorce in Nigeria and unfortunately the stigma attached to it, especially for women. Love is a beautiful thing. 99% of relationships hope to end up in marriage. Because you love somebody, you want to spend the rest of your life with that person. But then certain circumstances or situations might arise, especially if you don't know the person very well, you don't even know that the person has certain domestic and violence tendencies, or the person is a liar, or the person is a fraudster, and then you now found out after marriage, right? Then what do? Do you stick to it because of what society says, or because of what our parents used to say, like it is marriage, it's stick or die? You can't leave your marriage. What will the world say? What will our friends say? We spent so much money planning this wedding and actually having this wedding. We had a destination wedding. How can I leave this marriage? Oh my God, I don't even have a child. I don't want to be single. When I was single, nobody toasted me or talked to me. All right, up until this particular guy or particular lady came into my life. So because of that, I die here. No, you must not die here. Marriage is not a do or die affair. Instead of you to die in marriage and be carried out, from your marriage in a what they call that, in a dead bag, please come out. There are today I'm going to touch on certain situations that would actually lead to a divorce. I'll also touch on what the Nigerian law states in terms of what the Matrimonial Causes Act states as relates to divorce in Nigeria. Circumstances and situations that would arise that would negate you getting a divorce, or that would also warrant you getting a divorce. And please, it's important to know that when we have people around us, our friends, our families, our brothers, our sisters, and then they come to us with valid reasons why they don't think they should stay, in a marriage or in a union with someone, when there are certain extraneous situations that now shows that that union is now inconceivable. Please, let's try not to be judgmental, because that's a habit we have in Nigeria. We too judge. People come on social media, you just see one thing. Oh, wedding of the year. Then 6 months after, the wedding has packed up. People start writing, talking, judging you, making you hide your face in shame. Oh my darling, if you have a situation, do you guys realize that there are certain women that beat men in marriage, in relationships? We always talk about domestic violence. Then people just have this assumption that it's a woman thing. There's always a man, actually doing the act. No, there are certain relationships and marriages whereby the woman beats the man, abuses the man physically and emotionally, and then he cannot even stay in that relationship or that marriage anymore. So if divorce is the person's only option to sanity and peace, please now, don't come at that person. Most times, listen first to know the reasons why people take certain actions that they do. And then sometimes, Jare, mind your business. It's not your business if someone wants to get divorced or not now. Is it your marriage? Is it your divorce? Let's try to be empathetic to people's situations in Nigeria. Not everything is a taboo. Gone are those days. Most of our parents stayed in marriage not because they had any other choice, but just because of what the world will say. And then they will frustrate their children every day by saying things like, I stayed in this marriage because of you. So it's because of you people. And then the woman ends up, or the man ends up sad and never being happy all the days of their life. It's not what you want for yourself. Many times have changed, and now divorce is an option in marriage in Nigeria. Let's face it, it has become a reality. Because I said divorce is now an option in marriage in Nigeria. You now marry somebody tomorrow, waste someone's time. and then because you don't like how the person chews or how the person snores, you now come and say you want to divorce. Well, the Nigerian law is very clear as to the at the grounds of a divorce in Nigeria. What constitutes grounds for divorce in Nigeria? But the most important thing we should know that if you want to get a divorce, you have to make sure that your marriage is at least up to 2 years. If your marriage is not up to 2 years and you want to get a divorce, then you would opt for an annulment instead. It's imperative to also know that divorce proceedings or grounds for divorce vary from country to country. So depending on what country, and if you're in the UK, if you're in America, if you're in Canada, it differs. I'm more conversant with what happens or what the statutory law, what's obtainable in Nigeria. So I'll be talking about divorce as it obtains to the grounds for divorce in Nigeria. So divorce under statutory law, which is governed by the provisions of the Matrimonial Causes Act, Cap 220 of the Laws of Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1990. So that's the law or the act that governs divorce under statutory law in Nigeria. So if you actually had a traditional wedding or an Islamic wedding, right, and you didn't go have a court wedding, your wedding does not fall under the statutory laws of Nigeria. So it doesn't fall under the Matrimonial Causes Act. A traditional marriage does not fall. So if you want to get a divorce under the traditional law, if you had a traditional wedding, then you follow the traditional route, which is the return of the bride price. I don't know what's obtainable in different cultures, but where I'm from, I'm Igbo, I'm from Onitsha. So by the time they return the bride price under traditional rights, then the marriage becomes, dissolved. But then, under statutory law, if you have a court wedding, things are different. So the provisions that governs that is the Matrimonial Causes Act. The marriage celebrated under the Act, that statutory marriage, which is opposed to customary marriage and Islamic marriage, can only be dissolved on the grounds that that marriage or that union has broken down irretrievably. What is irretrievably? Let me break it down. That something cannot be patched, that something has broken. It cannot be put together, it cannot be patched together. Even gum, adhesive gum, nothing can hold it together. If you put it, it will scatter. You put it, it will scatter. That is the meaning of irretrievable. Because I want us to understand this thing, this issue is happening around us, left, right, and center. So I want to break it down as much as possible so that we can get it. So Section 15, subsection 2 of the Act states, the grounds upon which a statutory marriage can be dissolved. 1. That the respondent has willfully refused to consummate the marriage. Again, let me break it down. Consummate. Man and woman doing things, consummate. When a man and a woman marries, like my mom always say, if you're not married, you should not be having sex. You should not be having intercourse. Intercourse and sex is only for married people. So when a man and woman that are in love end up in marriage, and then the man or the woman refuses to actually have intercourse with the other person, consummate the marriage, then it's a problem. The marriage can dissolve. The party that is affected by the doing, not being doing, can now file for divorce in the court of law. 2. That the respondent, since the commencement of the marriage, committed adultery, and the petitioner, finds it intolerable to live with the respondent since after, cheating things happen. 3. That since the marriage, the respondent has acted in such a manner or behaved in such a manner that the petitioner cannot be found to live with him in that kind of situation. Example, rape, sodomy, bestiality, drunkenness, domestic violence, behaviors like that are unacceptable to the petitioner. The petitioner does not want to live with respondent after such behaviors. 4. That the petitioner has been abandoned by the respondent following 1 year, intermittently following 1 year after the petition has been presented to the court. 5. That the parties have lived apart for a period of 2 years following the presentation of the petition. 6. That the other party to the marriage has failed within 1 year of a restitution of the conjugal rights within the marriage to actually do that. So that's also a grounds for divorce. So whereby the court has said that conjugal rights should be restituted back within the marriage, right? By both parties, and one party now refuses to actually do that. So remember when I said when one party refuses to consummate the marriage, and then the court now states that you need to actually restitute conjugal rights. So consummation, conjugal rights, sex, intercourse, that's what it means, back into the marriage. And within 1 year preceding that, and the other party doesn't do that, then that also, is one of the grounds for divorce. And finally, that over a period of time, one of the parties, the respondent, has been absent for up to 7 years. So within the criminal laws of Nigeria, or the Evidence Act of Nigeria, if you've been absent for 7 years, you can be declared dead. So within such circumstances, petitioner can file for divorce, whereby the other party is presumed dead because they've been absent from the marriage for a period of 7 years. What are the processes of a divorce? If you want to get a divorce, what are the processes you should follow to get a divorce? For you to file for divorce in Nigeria, under section 54(1), subsection 1 of the Matrimonial Causes Act, you must come by way of a petition. You're trying to petition the court for different issues that you have. So you must come by way of a petition. And certain things that must form part of that petition can be the name of the petitioner, respondent, suit number, addresses of both parties, the marriage date, the date of the marriage. Some of these information are very vital, while filing a petition. Do you have children? Names of your children, their date of birth, how old are they, condonation, have you been condoning certain things in that marriage, right? Conniving, have you been conniving in that marriage? What are the details of that particular condonation or connivance? Who is going to settlement of properties? Who is going to take care of the kids, right? Things like this. So all these little vital information are very important by filing a petition. So it has to be customized to you. So you cannot use a petition for one particular divorce to another. No, because one party might actually have kids and the other party might not have kids. So you need to state all this vital information in your petition to enable a judge actually, deal with your own issue as regards to you as a petitioner. Being married and staying married is an important decision. Only you as an individual can make that decision to be married and to stay married. In situations whereby the marriage becomes abusive, unbearable, intolerable, please seek for divorce. It is fine, it is okay. Don't let the world shame you. Don't let the world tell you otherwise. But try, first of all, to resolve issues with your spouse, because you married them for a reason in the first place. When a situation whereby a marriage does not now serve the reason why you entered this in the first place. Most people enter marriage for different reasons. You might be shocked. I'm here talking love. Not everybody enters marriage for love. Some people enter marriage because they don't want to be alone. Some people enter marriage because they just want to use you and have kids. Some people enter marriage because they don't want to pay rent. People like, is that petty? People get married to people because they want to have a roof over their head. Is that petty? They want to be sure of the next meal. So if you enter marriage because you want a roof over your head, and then the man or the woman is no longer giving you or providing a roof over your head and serving that purpose for which you entered marriage. Because see, I'm not judging anybody. Any reason why you want to get married or why you want to enter marriage is your cup of tea. But if at any point in time that reason is no longer being served in that marriage, then divorce is an option. You should not be shamed for it, because it's easy to have these rules and regulations about our life, or what should be or what shouldn't be, and then we just want to force it on others and we believe that that's the right thing. But then you might be shocked that the next person within their own right believes that their decision and choices is also right. And trust me, it is. By the time they explain it to you, if they decide to explain it to you. So we need to begin to respect people's decisions as regards divorce in Nigeria. Till I come your way next time with much more interesting topics and sensitive topics from the Strugz tips. Please remember to like my video, subscribe to my channel, and please don't kill me. Oh, hit that notification button below.